Hey up, welcome back to part 3, making a safety gate. Today I'm going to be making all the hinges and the latching mechanism for it, and then I can get it installed, and then that's it, finished. So, end of part 2, finished off clamping this in with glue. Now, I left it over 24 hours, took the clamps off, and yeah, as you can see here, we're getting bits puffing up. So that adhesive did not work. It did a little bit, but not sufficient enough. So I'm going to go back to plan 1, and I'm going to make a little frame to fit all the way around it, so I can clamp it down and weld it, tack weld it in various places all the way around. That'll hold it in a lot better, and we're not going to get any of this puffing art with it anymore. So I'll just stick that on a quick time lapse, get that done quick, and then I can get on to making other bits. Right, that's that bit of a frame made. So this is going to be the back side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just make a normal gate style hinge from back there, weld 2 tabs on with an hole in, and have a plate screwed to the wall with 2 pins going up through it. Then at this side, once this is welded in, I'm going to weld a bit of a plate here, and then I'm going to make some kind of spring-loaded latch, like pin, that you have to pull out, and then to undo gate. But I'm going to make it a little bit tricky to open, like what they do on safety gates, so any kids or out might struggle. So I'm going to make them, and then this, I'm going to clamp it all in and weld this on. Then obviously all that paint I did, I'm going to have to repaint the frame again, so it'll be a case of masking all wood up and just spraying frame again when everything's finished. Right, this is what I'm going to make the hinges out of. So this, I'm going to cut a piece of this off, probably about that sort of length. And that is going to have some screw holes in, because I'm actually screwing this to a door frame. So you'll see once it's fitted how it's going to work. So this is going to get cut off, some holes all the way in it. Then this is slightly thicker stuff, so I'm going to cut a couple of pieces off, round them off, drill an hole in 2 of them. Well, in fact, I'm going to drill an hole in all 4, and then 2 of them are going to get some of this put in and welded on back, so that'll be the pin. So let's crack on with that now then. Right, so that's the section what's getting bolted to the wall. Now you'll notice how I've put them on facing that way. That's the way that I need it. So yeah, I've got these little bits. I'm gonna just grind it up a little bit. I've got that one a bit out of centre. So I'm gonna just grind edges up on them, make them a little bit thinner, because ideally I could do with the hole being closer to the front edge, just because it's going to be very tight on clearance when it's fully opened. Now it will be able to open two ways, but for one of the ways, this is why I'm having to do it like this, so I can open it both ways. So we'll crack on, get some more done. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to weld these tabs on the frame, and then that's going to be how I'm fitting it. I have just cut them down a little bit, otherwise they'd have been sticking proud. I think it just look a little bit neater like that. So I'm going to get these welded on in position now, and then I can start making the latch mechanism, and then once that's done I can weld all this frame in and then get a paint, and then that's it. We'll get it fitted then. Right, got my little forge on. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do for this latch, so I think I'll just wing it and just start bashing a bit of steel and see what we come out with. Right, so got an handle there. That section is going to be the locking pin. The flat section on it, I'm going to put a slot in that, and then that is going to attach to this. I'm going to cut it off here, put an hole in here, and then that pin is going to get riveted to this. So it's got that bit of a slot, and then I've got this section which is going to go here, so you have to lift it up or down before it will actually, see, it won't slide there, you have to slide it into the middle before it'll pass them shoulders. So that's how that's going to work. And then obviously I'm going to have a spring on that section. So let's just tickle that bit up with a grinder a little bit, because I hit corners when I was forging it out. So we'll get that ground up, cut off, and then it's just a case of drilling, getting slots in, and then figuring out how it's all going to go. Right, so I've got all my bits. This is the handle. I need to put a little hole in here, and then that is going to sit on there, well, either in front or behind. Not made my mind up yet, but that's going to have a slot in it so that it can move like this. So if you can see, let me zoom you in a little bit. No, that's too far. God, I'm useless with this camera, aren't I? Right. So this section here, as you can see, I've put a bit of a setting. So that's going to go through there, like so. And then it'll drop down so that this shoulder here will catch on here, so you can't actually pull it back. If you lift it up too high, it'll do the same. So you have to guide it into the middle before you can pull it out, which then pulls this pin back to release it. And then I'm going to have a spring on here, so it's going to, yeah, we're going to have a washer on here and a bit of a plate here that this slots through. So when you pull it back, it squashes the spring and then shoves it back out when you let go. And obviously, with this being tapered, it'll just fly straight back in and then drop down and lock its end. But I've put the I'm going to put the slot on there so that when I actually shut the gate, this can actually move, so it can lock itself without having to move this, because this will already be locked here. So having that slot in there will allow me to shut the gate without having to pull this back out again. Right, I've just forgot to record this bit. I've just realised after I've done it. Basically, I just got the end of this bar up, held it in vice, and just riveted it over. That's what's going to go, you know, the pin that slides up and down in there. So it's going to be welded through that hole on backside, welded in like that with that section in it. So we'll crack on with that now then. Right, so that is pretty much how it's going to go. So I've got a washer there, so what I need is a plate here to hold this spring, so it'll go through a plate there. Obviously I'm going to have to cut a little bit of this section out, but then this, if you look, it's like I can't open it there. If I pull it up too high, I can't open it. You have to get it just in the middle to be able to open it. Now, that slide, obviously, this will be sprung out. So when it hits the thing, as the gate's shutting, it should open it, you know, shove it enough to be able to lock it back in place without having to undo this section again. So I just need to figure out how I'm gonna make something to be able to weld all these bits to without making it look daft. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna do it just yet. I think what I might do is I might actually just put some down sections on this back side as well. If I think the one on the underneath is about there, so I could theoretically bring that to here, and I could weld that to the down section, and then just have another another bar coming underneath it, welded there to this down section. So all that time, tried getting away without making this frame on back. I ended up having to do it. Ah well, I think it does look better with that framing back as well. Plus, like you can see here, I've got some that I can weld to that rather than having to bolt it through this thin wood. So I'm going to cut a little like half round out of this bit here, and then I'll get same again, make some nice little hoop pieces, you know, just to fit it. So I've one about here just to stop it from flapping about, and then one over here for this spring to activate on. Right, got all bits made for it now. As you can see, I've got this little piece here that's going to weld to this bottom plate. It's going to stop that spring. So I've welded this half a washer to the bar, so that'll compress the spring once you pull this. So basically all I need to do now is weld this little piece in there. Made this little piece to weld in here, stop this from moving, and just need to weld that on there, and then that's done. Obviously I still need to weld all the frame, all this frame in, so I'm going to go around it all now before I do this. I'm going to go around, clamp it in various different places, make sure that wood's well and truly pushed in, and just do a load of little tacks all the way around it. That'll hold that frame in, then I can weld this on, and I know it's going to be right. Then I'll mask up, or might be able to slip some paper underneath it, get a spray, and then we can get it fitted. Right, so that is it, pretty much finished now. Just need to paint it back up and get it fitted. Oh, I've just got like another piece. Obviously I'm going to trim this off when I find out how long I need it, but this is how this works. Just it's pretty tight in there, so if it drops down you can't move it. If you pull it up too much you can't do it. You have to get bang on in centre, and then as that's locked, when you come to shove it back in, you've got like that much play in it while that's locked. So that should do it. So we'll get it set up for painting now. We'll go on another quick time lapse. Right, so that's it. It's all ready for fitting now. I forgot to show you this thing. All it is 2 bits of plate, some holes through. That is going to be the latch. Because it's going on the banister, there's some spindles, so basically I'm just going to squash it against, you know, one at either side of the spindle, which will hold it in place, and that'll be the locking mechanism for it. So we'll crack on and get this fitted now then. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this series. I could have probably squeezed it all into one video, but I wanted to show you as much as I could with working out and everything. So if you enjoyed this, you know what to do. You can whack this to subscribe, and there's some more tool reviews and build videos will pop up here. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.